I'm Mariana Danilovich with Hollywood Portfolio, and we're here with a good friend of mine of a few years ago, Richard Glasser, who is with Hilltop Digital. Richard's had a very illustrious career in digital media, and he's advising some very interesting clients now at Hilltop, so I'll let you tell them about it.
Thanks for having me. Great to see you again. Yes, Hilltop Digital is a consultancy. I provide strategy, business development, product development, consulting for a mix of big media companies who are trying to figure out how to play in the space, to small companies who want to partner with media companies or have challenges that they need to figure out. Currently working with, I'll give you a few highlights, a company called WiredSet, which is one of the leading social TV analytics companies. Their product's called Trender, and they are really in a fascinating space. I think that everyone recognizes that the social audience is important to both measure the size and to help grow a bigger audience for television. And so they use Twitter, public part of Facebook, Miso, GetGlue, and other data sources, Clout and Cred for influence, and then they have a natural language processing engine to determine sentiment, volume, velocity, gender, location, and are able to create great reports that they then have a license relationship with TV marketers and research companies. So that's an interesting company. Also working with another company that's called Media Friends out of Boston, and they have a very cool app coming out that is a social feed aggregator, and append that with the ability to do group messaging. So the ability to follow all the social media feeds of a brand, and then to be able to connect that to your friends in that very intimate setting of a group message environment, and then the ability in an almost Pandora-like way to create your own curated channels on this service, and that's called Bandwagon. So a few exciting projects. I work on a lot of things in the video, mobile, social space, and happy to be here at Hilltop.
It's interesting. I have a panel tomorrow on how transmedia is changing television. I think you're giving me some insight on how this is happening. Would you say that the way the television viewing and consuming is changing, not just by participation and therefore trending, and also the community experiences that are created and then video brought in, but that it's changing really fundamentally in the way that people sit in front of the screen and watch television, from beginning to the end of a linear program?
Well, I think the studies have shown that whether it's, I think around 40% of people have another screen with them while they're watching TV. They're not always interacting with the show, but the device is there. And I think for certain live shows or certain genres, you really enhance the experience. And so if you're watching a reality show or even a drama or a sporting event, I think that the ability to both engage with your friends, as well as many times you're engaging with the producer, where you're able to in some way help give a voice or impact the show in some way, or at least some measurement of the audience attitude or voting. So it is an exciting time. I think it's pushing people back to live viewing, and I think that I think you look at what people like Bravo are doing, or USA Network, or others, and it's really driving, I think, viewership of their shows.
What is Bravo doing, for example?
Well, they're doing, like for example, they have a whole program where they're putting hashtags on TV. They have a whole tweet tracker online. They've created a whole online show around Top Chef, where if you get voted off of Top Chef, you have an ability to compete in the, I think it's called Last Chance Kitchen, and then it's a whole show, and then the winner of that competition goes back onto the TV show at the end of the season. So they've done some great ways that they have closed the loop to bring that social audience into the process and ultimately engage them.
And how is this affecting advertising dollars? I mean, because that seems to be the name of the game, right?
Well, hopefully, I think we're still, I think, on early days of following the social activity around brands. I think it's probably more of a opportunity in the branded content space, where the brand is integrated more into the show, so that's going to stimulate more conversation around the brand. So what a social TV analytics service can do is help measure the effectiveness and resonance of that integration.
And some of the other interesting things that you're seeing here at Digital Hollywood and in your work with media brands, what do you think is happening right now in the digital media marketplace?
Well, I just moderated a panel this morning about consumer immersive experiences, and it was a great discussion with a bunch of futurists from technology companies and ad agencies and some companies that are startups that are, for example, Intel, who's working on things around holograms, or a company called Immersion, which is working on has haptic technology that allows you to not just have as an input to an experience, but it's something that creates a realistic experience by reacting to what you do. So, for example, in a game environment, when you're getting that shock absorption of driving, that's something that their technology does. Or also on the panel was the folks from that have the technology behind Kinect motion control. So I think there's this great mashup that's going on between location and device and multiple families of devices that everyone's have to create these kind of in the cloud experiences that follow you around wherever you are and wherever you're consuming, and bringing more immersive, richer experiences for the consumer.
Because of the cloud's capabilities, and then the devices almost look eternal.
Indeed, and the the smartphones and having and tablets, just the whether it's GPS or just different capabilities that really make that an interesting device. I was, I think it's just changing the living room.
And the whole experience, I guess, in and out of home, everything.
Indeed.
That's fascinating stuff. Well, thank you for sharing all these great views. It's always great to see you. Richard was the first head of online at Sony Pictures Entertainment when I came out of business school. Was that the right title? Did I remember?
Something like that. Back in the day.
When online was not that relevant to any of the media companies, I think, and it became one of the more relevant sources of revenue shortly as you were running it.
Well, we started out in ITV and then moved to online, and now I keep riding the crest of the next platform.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Thanks again for sharing.
Thank you.